Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies to this summer that does not seem to want to end. And also welcome King Frederick and Queen Mary have been visiting in Australia for the last couple of days from Denmark. Queen Mary is Mary from Tasmania, so she's a local gal. They met during the 2000 Olympics in a bar in Sydney, and it is one of those absolute love stories. And I've often seen the British monarchy becoming more like the Danish monarchy going forward. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Well, first of all, I just do want to mention, oh my goodness, the toxic misogynists that were on Louis Theroux's Manosphere documentary. I have not watched it. I have no intention of watching it, but the fallout is absolutely hilarious. Apparently, one of them went on a 7-hour rant on his podcast claiming that he wasn't crazy because basically he was crazy on the doco. Louis he's fabulous at this. What he does is he literally just lets them be themselves and records it. And so talk about snowflakes. Okay, what else is happening? Now, there's been a few reports, a few readers have said this, that Australia has sent troops to the Middle East. I just want to clarify that. Australia has sent an E-7A, what do we call it? An E-7A wedge tail. It's a surveillance aircraft. We sent the same to Ukraine early on in the Ukrainian conflict. We sent to the UAE along with crew and ground support staff. And the reason why this aircraft was sent to the UAE and a couple of missiles to support to the UAE, not to Israel or the Orange Idiot. And basically what it is it's a surveillance aircraft, and Australia has 24,000 Australian citizens in the UAE at this stage. A lot of them work over there, well, most of and it's their families. So UAE is an ally of Australia, and these have not been sent to bolster the Orange Idiots' attempts. They have been sent to protect the Australian citizens, and I think in the whole Middle East area there are a couple of hundreds of thousands of Australians working in the region and their families. So I just wanted to clarify that. It's not like we've sent troops to support the Orange Twerp. Speaking of the Orange Twerp, he was on Air Force One or something, and he came out and very publicly questioned why was the US even there. Well, you tell us. We don't know why you're there. So what I want to have a look at in this particular reading is the future of the petrodollar. So apparently China is sending ships to the Middle East. They were already on the way before the Orange Idiot came out and pretty much demanded that allies send ships to the Middle East. And Switzerland, UK, Hungary, France, Spain, Germany, Greece, Australia, you name it, Canada, UK pretty much said no. And I believe the UK are talking about sending a minesweeper to the region. My feels is that's to do what is necessary to clear the strait after everything has settled down. Now, there have been ships pass through the Strait of Hormuz from Pakistan, India, Turkey, China, and discussions are underway for the French and Italian ships to pass through. So the strait's not closed, it's just closed to those that decided to attack Iran. So I'm just putting it out there. Now, I want to have a look at the future of the petrodollar. What's also happening is that, and a little bit of political stuff as well, because China apparently has resumed playing war games as these nations like to do around Taiwan, around the Strait of Taiwan. Last night, my guys, as they usually do in the shower when I'm giving my face a scrub, basically came out and said to me that the US has blown its military wad. Actually, they didn't say military, they just said US has blown its wad. So, yeah, those that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. But what's happening is that it's become very obvious that the US military might is severely depleted at the moment. Now, China, I don't get, will invade Taiwan, but it does want to bring Taiwan back under the Chinese fold. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And it will do so by threatening pressure means rather than actually boots on the ground. And yeah, we've got the hidden agenda and the Sun card, which is basically, yeah, pretty much in agreement with what I'm saying. So I'm going to use the Golden Universal Tarot. So let's have a look. First up, let's get out of the way. What is China playing at around with its military around Taiwan? And then I'm going to have a look at the yuan instead of the petrodollar for purchasing of oil. Now, I'm just going to put it out there that China in the last 12 months installed even more renewable energy sources, wind, air, geothermal, etc., than it had the previous year. So it's more than 50% of China's energy at the moment is coming from renewable, and that is just increasing year on year. So it is taking its dependence off fossil fuels. Still needs them because their population is so large, but they are shifting from a dependent on fossil fuels. What my guides have shown me, and I am just going to share this, they have shown me the Middle East region pretty much as, I say, a wasteland. Basically, because once there is no demand for oil, there isn't the money flow into these particular countries. And they have very little water. The only water they have, the majority of water, for example, some countries are 90% via the desalination plants. So they're very aware that they are in this pivot or die off scenario, because without the oil funds, there is no wealth to be made in these countries. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes forward. Okay, what I want to have a look at though is what games is China playing? What games is China playing? I gather it's not paying, China itself is not paying in the petrodollars, it's paying in the yuan. But what's China playing at around Taiwan? Yeah. Under the cover of darkness, sneaking out for the path forward, seeing what the reactions is. You've got the domestic dog versus the wild dog here. Testing the waters is what I'm getting from this. Testing the waters under this guise of, military games, type thing. Okay, but it is going to be a long path forward, whichever way it goes. And it knows that it's not a simple path forward. It is a long path forward before it can even get through these pillars of wisdom. And I'm feeling like the pillars of wisdom themselves are about the technology that Taiwan has. It is the biggest computer chip manufacturing country in the world. Yeah, it just has a lot of expertise on its shores. But this is not a war card. This is just under the guise of something that is not really seen, testing the waters. challenged by the Five of Pentacles out in the cold. Okay, so China's economy is contracting at the moment. It's going through a struggle. It's sort of overreached and then has had to pull right back again. So I think it might be eyeing off the wealth of Taiwan. It wants the wealth that Taiwan is generating. Okay, let's see where this goes. Oh, right, okay. The energy that it's stewing in at the moment is the Tower card. Built on a shaky foundation. Now, is this Taiwan being attacked, or is this the Chinese Communist Party collapsing before it gets to that stage? Because we do have Tower moment here at the bottom. In the past, we've got the Six of Pentacles, which is about a reduced income. Now, China, the Communist Party in China has already seized the monies of multiple billionaires, including, can't remember his first name, but Ma, who created the trading space for manufacturing. So this is about, in the past, the wealth reduced. I think this is it's an economic decision is what I'm getting there. The hopes and fears that the bully will just come in and take over. This is the energy over it at the moment. The bully, Taiwan, might not put up much of a fight. It might just submit, because what else is it going to do? And let the bully have their way. Let's see where it goes. We've got military movement, but the military's it's stopped. These sphinxes aren't moving forward here. 3 major arcana out of 6 already, but this is about the immediate future. I think this is the military exercises, just stopping short of, it's part of this bully energy. So it is this bully energy that's over the situation at the moment. But I think they're going to stop short of, because of this card, they're going to stop short of actually, military, with the military taking over Taiwan. This is more of an appeal to the past, a gift from the past, an appeal to the past, an emotional appeal. So I suspect that the externally, yes, they're going to rattle their sabers in and around Taiwan, but what is actually going to happen is almost like a diplomatic discussion where there is a gift offered with the shared history, etc. Okay, let's see where they go. With the full intent of taking off with the goods with the 7 of Swords. Internally, the intention is to make out like a bandit off Taiwan. Very much Hong Kong type vibes. There was an agreement when the British lease for Hong Kong ran out, and there was an actual agreement between Hong Kong and China, which stood for all of about 6 months, and then it was just toast and absorbed into China itself. Okay, the hopes and fears, the young people bringing forward powerful messaging, the outcome. You've got this over-bloated, decaying, wealthy merchant who thinks the cups are all lined up in a row, but they are mistaken. So this is the CCP, the over-bloated, the 8 of Wands, a lot of information coming out very quickly, bringing about a downfall. I think this is the downfall of the CCP. And then we have balance and moderation restored, and the Hermit coming out of an isolation and shining a light on the path forward. This is more about the future of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. If they make moves on Taiwan, which looks like they're going to, it's not going to work out for them. On the bottom, you've got the Justice card, actions having consequences, and emotional overwhelming, new partnership perhaps, something's not yet revealed, and then you have the Judgment card, you have trade, nightmare situation, not accepting what is offered in regards to something financial. You have the Devil and you have the financial, and then you have some sort of agreement that is disappointing to China but has Taiwan, they come together in a unity, but it's not in the way that the CCP thinks it's going to be. Okay, I'm not going to have a look at the CCP today. I have looked at it in the past. Oh, there's the Emperor. As I pulled that out, the Emperor back up against the wall. And then we've got this new start happening and new opportunities back up against the wall, having to surrender. So, yeah, it pretty much agrees with what I've read on the CCP in the past. But let's have a look about, on the back foot, having to defend themselves, under attack. Not a physical, it is a physical, but it's like the pen is mightier than the sword type attack. And then we have this coming together in unity, but celebration for all. So don't underestimate the strength of Taiwan going into this. Okay, now I think the whole world realizes that it can't trust the US to have its back at the moment. The trading of oil on the petrodollar, the US petrodollar, it's been since the 70s, I think, that it's always been traded in US dollars, which means it's beneficial for the US. Let's have a look. Trading of oil on the petrodollar. How's that going to pan out? Do I need to go any further? Downfall, the decrepit old king, new partnerships. The decrepit old king and the oligarchs brought this upon themselves, and new partnerships. New agreements being made. I have seen for a while that the US dollar is the, oh gosh, I put that back randomly and split the deck, and there he is again, making some sort of false night offer that nobody's taking up. I have seen in previous readings that there will be a shift away from the US dollar as the reserve currency for commodities trading, wheat, sugar, sorghum, all that sort of stuff. I don't know where it's going to. I do see that there will in the future be an international global currency, but it's not Bitcoin or crypto, so I'm not sure what it's going to be. Okay, we've got manipulation wanting to come out there. Show me the future of the petrodollar, the US petrodollar. Trading of oil, gas, fossil fuels on the US dollar. Show me the future. We've got the, big wake-up call coming. The manipulation has led to this massive collective awakening wake-up call where there's this rebalancing going on. Back and forth, creating something new. And end of what was. End of how it used to be. Now look at this, 4 major arcana straight out of the bag. Future of the petrodollar. Yeah, the betrayal. The illogical betrayal is what I'm getting there, because swords can be about intellect and logic as well, and strategy. Well, you can't trade commodities when the market is based on the whims of who one wannabe dictator took offence at 5 minutes ago. You just can't. International trading just can't. So you've got this anguish and despair here at this betrayal. Going forward, you've got the legacy of the financing, ending, being a Ten of Pentacles, ending of the petrodollar. It's an old archaic system. The world is going to move through into something new. We've got the star, and again two cups pouring. This one's back and forth. This one's one on land, one on water, one on practicality, and one on emotions. So again, two balancing cards. Internally on the back foot, defensive about the stance that's been taken. Yeah, I think the regime are going to get a bit upset about this. But then the hopes and fears, we have legal action being taken. Russia, perhaps. Or this is simply the birth of something new that lies in strength to combat this devil energy. Look at this major arcana, because this devil is living in a gift that was given in the past that basically was money for jam for them without that Eight of Pentacles, and it is undergoing a radical rethink and a change with that Two of Pentacles. It's not going to be easy. There'll be some back and forth argy-bargy. We have new strategies being formed with that Queen of Swords, and then I think it's just going to be happening with the Knight of Swords. And any protest with that Ten of Wands is just, yeah, it's not going to be able to carry water. And then we have the Tower card. Then we have the High Priestess again, so something being revealed that was previously hidden, or hidden agendas being revealed. And then we have the Sun card coming out into the sun. Yeah, I think a lot of countries are looking at different opportunities in the way they, with that Page of Pentacles, in the way that goods and services and commodities are paid for, because at the moment they're out in the cold going, what the heck just happened, because of this Emperor energy. So they're looking at taking action to, take their swords and take their bat and balls and go home. So yeah, we're where we are. We are where we are because of the actions of the regime, the instability in the markets, because from one day to another, other countries, I don't know where they stand. So I have done readings before. I do see that there will be it's part of this reset that countries will, you've got BRICS that are trying to bring out a BRICS dollar or BRICS currency, but I think what will happen is that countries will trade in their own currency for a while, and as part of this rebuild going forward, we have to get past this time of monsters. And there will be a global currency that is brought forward. It's not Bitcoin or crypto. I don't know what form it's going to take. Going to be interesting times. Okay, going to leave that there. Love to you all. Take care.